Hey guys, welcome to our channel. We are going to install a Toyo stove today. There are three, uno, dos, tres, reasons why we are putting in a Toyo stove in addition to our wood stove. A lot of people are like, why do it? I'm going to let you know why. One, I forgot what they were. No, just kidding. One is when we go to town in the wintertime, we can be gone 4 to 6. Sometimes we can go and not be able to come back, like if a storm comes through and it just whips up all of a sudden and we can't get back over because we live on an island. What we didn't want was the wood to die down, the house temperature to drop, and because we don't have piping yet or plumbing in our cabin doesn't mean that we won't. And we didn't want to run the chance of going to town, the wood stove going out and the temperature dropping, the pipes freezing, and possibly busting. So that's reason number one why we are putting in a Toyo stove. Reason number two is it drops your insurance down considerably if you run another heat source besides a wood stove. Now we own our cabin, so we don't technically need insurance, but just for peace of mind, we carry insurance on our cabin and on our boat. And what was the third reason? I forgot already. Oh, the third reason we got this instead of just a regular gravity-fed drip stove is the downside is it takes electricity to run. The upside is you don't have to run a whole chimney stack to vent this out. It's just a little tiny flue that fits out through your wall in your cabin, and that's it. So there's no big chimney. You don't have to cut or notch any section out of your roof. It just fits right out the wall, and the exhaust gas is straight out of the side of your cabin. So that's the third reason why we do it. So stay tuned, and we are going to get this sucker installed. I'm Brian, and this is my wife Diana. After 21 years in the Army, I retired, moved to Alaska, bought an off-grid cabin on a remote island. Now we share our lives and adventures with you to inspire others to follow their dreams. I already put the, it comes with a little template on where to drill holes. I mocked everything up. It looks like our hole's off a little bit, so I'm just going to drill where we need the hole to be. So just be aware that if you just start drilling in there, it might not be in the right spot. So there you go. Let's drill a hole. So as you can see on the template, our hole is a little off from where they're saying you should be drilling, but that's okay. For different applications, I guess. We also had to use the extender because our unit didn't clear the fan, and we'll get to how to assemble that in just a minute, but we had to drill our hole first. I also put down what is going to be our floor. It's a 1/4 inch thick, so I wanted to get that into the measurement, and it also comes with a little, I don't know how thick that is, maybe 1/16 inch little spillage, like a catchment, so that it sits inside. So I put that on with the flooring, and then that's where we got our hole to drill. So let's get this sucker drilled out. They say you needed a 2 3/4 inch hole saw or a 3 inch. We went with a 3 inch just to give us some little extra wiggle room, and then you're supposed to angle this down at a 2% grade so that any condensation that builds up into your exhaust will vent outside and not back into the machine. Alright, so this is the flue pipe. This is the inside piece. This is the outside piece. It just slides together and screws on. So this is made for a standard home. If you are building in a mobile home, it comes with the shim, and that way it allows for a, what should I say, thinner walls. And if you are building in a log home, you can order an extender, and it will extend out so you can fit through the logs. How I got this thing put together is here is your exhaust. Now if I just put this on, I come into contact with the fan. So it also came with a little extender. So when you put the extender on, right, it just slides in, and then they have these little clips where you fit onto it. It keeps it from coming apart. And this is the side that goes into the stove, and this also has a little clip to keep it from falling out. There's a tiny little lip here, and so this thing will slide down inside here, clip onto it, and that'll keep this from coming out. So this is the exhaust here. So I'm going to slide my exhaust piece in. This also comes with a little clip, so you clip that on there to keep it from coming out. And then we're going to insert this into the stove itself. Put our little clip into place. That'll keep it from coming apart. And then this is your inlet hose here. It's got two little clamps. One to clamp onto the stove, and then one that clamps onto your flue here. Then when you get that on, you just tighten it down. So the last piece is this little rubber cap, and it is your intake cap. And you just fit that on the other side there, and then this sucker's ready to go. There's arrows on both sides of the exhaust that have an up arrow. One that's on the outside, one that's on the inside. So you want to make sure that these arrows are both up, and that when you're doing this, you want to have your exhaust, what did they say, like 8 and 2? That way when the moisture comes out, it can just bloop, drip off like that. Alright, so I just set this up just so you guys could see, because I looked online on YouTube and they didn't really have any instructional videos on how this setup was done, so I thought I would do this little video for you. If I made any mistakes, just leave us a comment down below, because this is the first time I've ever messed with this thing. I went through the instructions, followed them to the T, so but to the best of my knowledge, this is how everything goes. So you can't have this put together first. You have to assemble your exhaust piece together, your flue, and then because that has 4 little screws that you have to mount this to the wall, and then you assemble everything to that. And then this will come from the outside in, and you just screw the pieces together, screw this one on, and bada bing, bada bang. Then you can put the rest of your stuff on. End of story. Oh, I should also add that one thing that I didn't think of was I have a shutoff valve from the tank to the unit, but what I didn't think of was getting a shutoff valve for right here at the unit, so if I needed to disassemble or do any maintenance, I can shut it off right here, and that way I can take stuff apart and not have however much fuel's in that line drip out. So I think I'm gonna have to go to town and get one of those, but that's okay. We had to go to town to get some lumber anyway, so we'll just make it a day trip. All right, so let's get this hole drilled for the copper fuel line. I already drilled this side, but I got to go all the way through it to the outside. There you go. That hopefully will fit. I used a 1/2-inch bit with, and the outer diameter on the copper line is 3/8. Alright, we're going to thread the copper line through now. I have one shutoff valve that goes to the tank. I don't have a shutoff valve down here, so when we go into town, I'm thinking about getting like one of those shark bite valves and seeing if that'll work here, but we can still thread this pipe, send it outside, hopefully. See if we can straighten it up a little bit. Then we can assemble all this stuff in the back, and then we'll start assembling the tank too. If I can focus in on that. Alright, so once you got your fuel line hooked up and you got everything hooked up, you got to put the screws in to mount that securely to the wall, and then hook your flue up. And then after that, there's 2 little braces that hook the container to the wall just to sturdy everything up. Alright, so don't be like me, be smarter than me. Put the brackets on the back of the stove before you assemble it, because chances are you won't be able to get a screwdriver back there. I didn't want to go try to find a little tiny screwdriver, so I just disassembled it. It's not a big deal, but heads up, put the mounts on first. That will secure the heater to the wall, and then put your flue on. Save yourself a headache. Alright, so there are the two mounts right here and right there. That's what's going to attach to the wall. Now we can assemble the flue and we'll be in business. Hey, we are going to break this up into two separate videos, so thank you for watching. Gunnar says goodbye. Thank you for watching. Let us know if you like the little intro. I think we're going to start using the intro next year. We'll see how it works out, because a lot of people jump on this channel, they don't know what we're about, so that kind of gives us a little snapshot of what our channel is all about. So tomorrow we'll do we've already filmed a lot of the stuff, but it was going to be like 20 minutes long, so we're going to do like a 10-minute and then another 10-minute, because we've already put the tank together, but we haven't put it on we haven't mounted it outside yet, and we haven't fired the stove up yet, so we'll get that stuff going on the next video. We'll probably post that one tomorrow, the very next day. Alright, thank you for watching. Talk to you later.